Thank you for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to tap the bell, subscribe, and comment down below. Hi, good morning. How are you guys?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Really glad that you're here and taking the time to do an interview with us and just taking a moment to share your story. So, I'm really excited to get to know you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're really excited to share and have a good chat.
Yeah. Why don't we get started with our interview here and start off just by introducing yourselves, where you live, and then what you do for work.
So my name is Liam and I live in Sydney in Australia, and for work I work in theatre. I work as a creative and director.
And I am Brenton. I am Liam's husband. I also live in Sydney, although we travel a lot. But I grew up just south of Sydney in a place called Wollongong, but we live in Sydney now. And for work, I work at the National Institute of Dramatic Art in a role called a client relationship manager. I've been doing that role for about 3.5 years.
Very cool. So before I get into, I always want to ask about your wedding because you're married, but let's start off at the very beginning and go back to that first initial meeting and how you guys met.
Well, we first met when we would have been in our late teens. Very briefly though, at a friend's house, in passing. Brenton actually doesn't remember that meeting at all. But I do. Yeah. But then I guess, when we first got to know each other we used to be performers, in a previous life. And we both got cast in a touring musical. And so that was in 2005 that we met when we were rehearsing for that show.
Very cool. And so what were your first impressions of each other? Maybe Brenton, I know maybe you don't remember the first official meeting, but that first impression that you really recognized and noticed Liam.
But apologies again. I don't remember our first meeting. But we were 23 at the time, and Liam had been living in Melbourne. I had been living in Sydney. So we were both kind of with two different friend clique groups. And I remember it was actually a slow burn, our kind of getting to know each other. And I just remember going, well, that guy's really talented. He's really handsome. But we were just in our own friend circle. So it actually took quite some time. But then after a while, it was after about a month, I thought, hang on, this guy's really handsome. I think I'm going to actually build up the courage to ask him out on a date. And so, we did. But it took some time.
Yeah. I think my first impression, again, we're in our early 20s. So my first impression was, wow, he's cute. And then got to know him well and thought, oh, he's very thoughtful person. Very generous spirit.
I love that. Okay, now I want to talk about the wedding just quickly. How long ago was your wedding?
It was in 2011, October 31st, so it was a Halloween wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And so we did that in Sydney. We're really lucky. Both of our families are really supportive of our relationship. So sadly, at the time, it actually wasn't legal for same-sex marriage in Australia. So it was an illegal wedding, but it was a big one. So we had about 100 people there. It was in Sydney, right on Sydney Harbour. So we actually, I surprised Liam and arranged for a little Italian speedboat to take us to the wedding. So we arrived by boat.
Yeah.
Which was pretty fancy.
Yeah.
But we had all of our friends who we were working with at the time, all of our family there. It was really beautiful. And
I guess too, because gay marriage wasn't legal at the time, it meant that we wrote our own ceremony. We had one of our best friends officiated it. And so we kind of just created the wedding exactly as we wanted it to be. We were bound by, no structure or, so it was actually really, really fun. And then a couple of years ago, because gay marriage became legal in 2017 in Australia, a couple of years ago, we finally, got the marriage certificate and the paperwork done on our anniversary.
Very, very cool. I like that you did that on your anniversary too. That's so special.
And one fun little story about our wedding that we did only a few years ago, it was very small, so my parents weren't there. But at the time, my parents were camping in a caravan, and so they actually were watching from an iPad. We live streamed our wedding, and they were in the caravan park.
Yeah.
So they were there in spirit.
When we got the actual marriage certificate, yeah, it was just my parents and your parents on
Yeah.
Yeah. What qualities do you admire the most about one another, and how do you think that's going to help you as parents? If you could kind of tie the two together. It's a tricky question, but...
I mean, I think I kind of touched on this, but I think that what I admire most about Brenton is he's very thoughtful and very considerate of other people and very empathic. And so I think, of course, that lends itself to parenting in a really obvious way, because, you know, it's about trying to understand who this little person is and what they need, and to, you know, sculpt their experience.
Thank you. I mean, one of the key qualities that I love about Liam is just how calm he is, how calm and confident and centered he is. He works in sort of leadership roles now, and all of the companies that he works with, whenever I meet up with them, everybody just says, "Oh my gosh, Liam's so lovely, and he's such a great leader and manager, and we feel so confident when he's around." So he's a really calming, confident energy. But he's also really smart. So I'm actually really excited that our child will have somebody intelligent in the relationship to make sure that they get a good education.
I think all of those qualities are amazing, and you
you
most likely balance each other out very well with your different qualities. What's one hobby or interest that you enjoy that maybe you think your child will pick up and enjoy in the future as well?
I'm going to go with two. So in the earlier part of our life, we were both performers, and I danced all my life. From the age of 5, I loved dancing and went all the time. So I think we're interested to see if our child enjoys dancing or performing, but we definitely won't be those stage parents who push and push. And if they don't like it, then, oh well, they don't like it. That's fine. But now, later in life, we just have grown to really love, I think COVID pushed us this way, really love the outdoors. So we go hiking and running a lot and playing tennis. So I think we're hoping to just sort of try all of these outdoor activities and see if our child hopefully enjoys that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think hiking is the one I'm most interested in seeing if that is of interest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny, like when I was younger, it wasn't that much of interest to me, but but yeah, just to expose our child to, especially now in the, you know, hyper digital world that we live in.
Yes.
You know, a connection with the outdoors and nature. I think that's important.
Absolutely. Do you guys have a slideshow prepared to share with us of pictures?
Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah,
okay,
we do.
Perfect.
Okay. So this is from our wedding in 2011, and this is the photo that sits beside our bed in our bedroom, and it's a photo. We travel a lot, so this photo comes with us everywhere, and yeah, it's just a really great memory from our wedding.
Oh, goodness. Oh, look at that friend.
We don't remember what exactly our first date was, but this is the photo from around the time of our first date.
Yeah.
So probably around 2006, maybe 2007.
This was 2006. Yeah, this was taken while we were on tour with the very first show that we did together, a musical called Dusty. And that would have been that was during the Sydney season, which was when we first started dating. So that was early 2006. So we would have been about a month into dating at this point.
And clearly GHD.
Yeah. And
hair straighteners were really popular.
Yeah. This is my family. So this is my parents and my sister. And this was taken about 6 years ago in Canada, in Jasper National Park.
Oh, wow.
So at the time, we lived and traveled around North America for about 18 months. And it was a job that I had there that was traveling all around the US and through Canada. And we managed to take a week off and explore, you know, Jasper and Banff and the Canadian Rockies. And it was amazing. And my parents came over, you know, to share that experience. And my sister, who still lives in New York, so she came out to meet us as well, and that was a really special holiday.
That's so neat that you could all do that together.
These are two of our best friends who live in Melbourne. So we live in Sydney, and sometimes we travel for work. So right now we're actually in Melbourne, and we're getting to catch up with these friends a lot. But Liam actually met Kimberly when they went to university together.
Oh gosh.
So
Our past life.
this is
I can't believe you included.
this is the past life.
Wow.
Yeah, for about 15 years, our first profession career was performing in musical theatre productions. And so I don't know if anybody watching has ever seen the musical Cats, but this is where we were doing the musical Cats. And at points on that tour, Liam was playing the role of Skimbleshanks, the railway cat,
Yeah.
and I was playing Mr. Mistopheles.
Oh my
So yeah, we just thought we'd include these photos of when we were much skinnier and healthier and we could wear
Oh, come
unitards.
on.
Yeah, this is like when we were 23. Like,
Wow.
yeah, very young.
This was a national park that we'd never heard of in America, Zion National Park. So when Liam had a job in America and we were traveling around, we were getting to visit all the national parks. And a friend said, go to Zion in Utah, go to Angel's Landing. And we'd never heard of it, jumped on Google. Oh my goodness, it's the most beautiful place I've ever seen. So yeah, we did this pretty scary hike, and it comes up all the time on world's most dangerous hikes.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we shouldn't have done it. But yeah, so we climbed all the way to the top.
Yeah,
a lot of
ridge where you can see in the back of the photo is you kind of climb up and you hold onto this chain as you go up, and the traffic is only, I mean, people are going up and down the same way, so you need to kind of wait until somebody passes you before you go up, because there's only one chain to hang on to. But yeah, when we got to the top, it was amazing.
That's probably our favorite hike that we've ever done.
Very cool.
And then the last one, you might be able to hear in the moment, having a little win.
Yeah,
Aw.
asking for attention.
Our puppy Pete.
Yeah.
So yeah, we mentioned we've had him for about 12 years. He's a bundle of energy. We've traveled a lot and he's traveled with us, never international, but all around Australia to all the different states. Yeah, we love him.
Yeah, he's our first baby.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so we're gonna lean into more questions focused around becoming parents and your surrogacy journey. So my first question for you is, what type of relationship do you imagine or hope that you will have with your surrogate during the process? What do you think that will look like?
Well, we can actually give a pretty clear idea of what this will be, because we actually were matched with the surrogate last year, an amazing surrogate based in Canada, and unfortunately, you know, we got about 8 months into the journey and there were some health complications, so you know, we had to part ways. But you know, we did get to develop a really great friendship with her, and you know, the relationship was, to be honest, really built around a WhatsApp thread group and sharing photos and messages, and we had a few FaceTimes, and so in that time we were able to get to know her quite well and get to know her children, and so you know, we have developed a nice friendship with her, which is great. And obviously throughout the pregnancy, you know, we would be in communication pretty regularly to check in and see how she's doing, and to get updates as to how the pregnancy is progressing, and to hear if there's any, you know, support or more support we could be providing her. And then post-birth, you know, I guess the difficulty is that we live in Australia and our surrogate will live in Canada. But, you know, we do want to stay in contact in the same way that you would stay in contact with a friend who lives overseas, in, you know, sending photos of the child every now and then, and you know, keeping her updated as to how, you know, baby is growing and things like that.
Absolutely. So I know that you've shared a couple of photos of your family, and then you have some close friends as well that you talked about. Can you give us a picture of what your support system looks like? Yeah, just as you go throughout this journey, obviously, you know, you were matched previously and for 8 months, and so that's a lot of highs and lows to go through. So, you know, I'm sure you guys have support through your family and whatnot. Yeah, what does that look like?
Yeah, we're really lucky to have support for us personally. So we've been really open about our surrogacy journey for quite some time, right through. We did explore adoption for a while, and now we're hopefully going to become parent through surrogacy, and we've shared that journey with a lot of our friends and our family, and they've been really supportive and interested and understand that there has been some challenges, so they've been there to take care of us.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've got two older brothers, and my oldest brother has 5 children. Liam's got an older brother as well who has 6 children.
So lots of children.
Yeah, and so we've seen and they're both really fantastic parents as well. So we've also seen like really great examples of good parenting. And although those sort of cousins, I guess, maybe will be a little older, I think they'll still have some really great friends in their life to take care of them and teach them about the world. So yeah, we're really lucky that both of our families support our relationship, support the surrogacy journey that we're on. We've got lots of friends where we work and in our lives they're all sort of so excited. Everybody's like, "Is it happened yet? Have you got one? Have you got a baby? When's it happening? When's it happening?" So yeah, we're very lucky.
That's amazing. It sounds like, yeah, you have a lot of support behind you, and those older cousins are going to be amazing role models, hopefully, for your little one when that time comes. Yeah. What are your hopes for the relationship that you'll build with your child as they grow up?
Well, our hope is that it will be a really close relationship and, built on a foundation of unconditional love. But of course, the relationship will change drastically depending on how old the child is. I mean, if I reflect on my relationship with my parents when I was a toddler, or what I can remember of my relationship with my parents then, through to being a teenager, through to now, it has just shapeshifted significantly. So we're aware of that and prepared for, those changes. And really, I guess it's about, I think, one of the things we're excited about, with parenthood is getting to know this child. And really, until we meet this child and know and understand them, it's hard to be clear about what the relationship will be, because I think it needs to be dictated by, what the child needs.
Absolutely. Is there a childhood memory from each of you that you're excited to recreate with your future child and as a family?
I have one very specific memory that I'm hoping to recreate, possibly annually. So every year since I was born through to the age of about 20, my parents would take us away on a summer holiday. And there's just this beautiful coastal town in New South Wales, which is the state that I lived in Australia. And we would go there for 3 weeks and just absolutely relax and go on all of these adventures to the beach and to these quarry pools where you could safely jump off the rocks into the pool. And yeah, it's just this beautiful town that still had, like 20 years later, it's popular, but it's still really remote. Yeah. And so I just can't wait to take my child to this place where I grew up, and hopefully summer holiday there with them too. My parents still go there. My parents have been going there, I think, for 40 years, or if not longer. So yeah, really excited to recreate that memory with them.
Yeah, and I think for me, I mean, similarly, we had, amazing summer holidays growing up, often in the same place. But a lot of my memories from childhood are to do with, I had really good bonds with my cousins. And even to this day, we still are, in contact with each other. And we also have, even still now, like COVID, threw a spanner in the works a little bit, but we have an annual family reunion where we'll book like a big house, and all the cousins on my dad's side will all go away and stay together and catch up. And it's a great way to carve out space for us to, continue to maintain and build our relationships as we all get older and people have children, and, soon some of their children will have children. So, life starts to kind of gently, tug you apart from each other, but to continue to carve out that space to maintain those relationships is something that, we all really, really love, that we still have that time to do that in our lives. And so I guess, I really hope that our child will have strong bonds with his cousins, their cousins as well. So
yeah, absolutely. Okay, so my final question for you, drum roll, is there anything that, maybe it's a final message to the wonderful woman that has taken the time to watch the interview? If there was anything you would like to say to her as a final message.
I mean, the biggest one overall always is just thank you, even for the people who are watching and considering this surrogacy journey, for us or for anybody. It's just the most generous act I truly think anybody can do. And you know, the surrogate that we matched with, we would just couldn't believe how generous she was, and we're so appreciative because, yeah, we need support through this journey, and we're really excited about this journey. But yeah, just a huge thank you, and we're excited to get to know somebody and create a new relationship with someone and become parents. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say the same thing. I think it's still like, I mean, we've been thinking seriously about surrogacy seriously for the last 3-4 years. Before that, we were aware of it, but we've learned so much about it. But I don't know that I'll ever really, truly comprehend how generous it is to do this for somebody. So, you know, the fact that there are people out there that are even considering this is kind of blows my mind. So, you know, just want to say thank you to those that are considering it. And we, you know, hope that if, you know, maybe our journeys might intertwine, maybe they won't, but I hope the experience for you is as meaningful as you hope it will be.
Oh, that's so special. I love that, you guys. That was so good. Well, thank you for taking the time to share your stories and talk about some
Pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, some hopes and dreams that you have for the future, and share a little bit about your lives. It was really nice getting to know you.
Thank you, and also a big thank you to you for today, for this interview, and all the team at ANU. Everybody is so generous and lovely, and throughout the whole time that we've been connected with ANU, everybody that we've spoken with is so lovely and clearly loves what they do. And yeah, we wouldn't be here without you all. So yeah, big thanks to the team ANU.
Of course, yeah, I'll be sure to pass that message on. And yeah, I guess we will say goodbye for now, and we'll keep in touch.
Right. Well, thank you for chatting, Hope. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.